for precisely pointing out towards the prevailing scenario of cancer in India and the changing concept as far as management of cancer is concerned. Now we have the next speaker, Dr. Mohammad Zehran. Dr. Mohammad Zehran did his MBBS in 2003 and MRCP in 2007. Then he did FRCR in clinical oncology in 2012. Then he did CCT in 2013 and FRCP Edinburgh and FRCP Glasgow in 2015 and 2017 respectively. So with this short introduction of Dr. Mohammad Zehran, I request him to please come forward for the talk. Okay, I have been informed that the other speaker, Dr. Maqsood and Dr. Mohammad Zehran will be giving the talk together. So I have the opportunity to introduce Dr. Maqsood also. He also did his MBBS in MRCP from UK, then FRC Path from UK, then CGST FRCP London. Then he did FRCP from Edinburgh. Now he has got a Clinical Excellence Award from National Health Institute, NHS America, and he has many award-winning papers to his credit. So with this brief introduction, I invite both Dr. Mohammad Zehran and Dr. Maqsood for their talk. We are already running short of time, so please come forward if you have any question.
For making the drug, for using this genetic knowledge for the individualized drug therapy, what do you think about the data, clinical data available in India? So that my idea of putting this question is that there was a lot of regulatory hue and cry about the doing this type of the treatment in India by some centers.
So, thank you. The question is very pertinent. And I'm kind of re-emphasizing what I said initially in the talk, that we are a medically data deprived or a starved nation in that system. I think a large amount of data that we're using currently for genomics specifically is based upon extrapolation of some of the benefits or the lack of benefits that we've seen from overseas. I think it's only been in the last about 12 to 15 months that clinicians and institutes have now started getting some of that data through. And some of those data have now started to come through from a publishing standpoint in that system. But the quality of data that we're gathering is as important. It's not about just getting data. What data structures are we actually evolving within the system? I think we need to be very careful, because when we talk about genomics, we know of the inherent differences that this 0.1% of our genomic framework makes. So it is not absolutely necessary that whatever works in the West will work for us, for our patients. We already know that there is enough data that exists. If I talk about just one example, which is lung cancer, where we know there has been a lot of this activity around EGFR-based therapy, especially when we look at some of the TKI therapies. We know currently that some of these mutation burdens in the Asian population are very different to what is there in terms of the West. So we need to be very, very cautious if we're going to just start extrapolating data which looks at some of these benefits which are today benefiting or not benefiting some of those patients in the Western population. With regards to the hue and cry, I think whenever you go through a new technology or a new platform or any innovation that happens within the system, I think it is good for the system that we have both hue and cry as well as proponents and supporters and advocates for the system, because that is the only way we are going to learn in this system. I think what needs to be kept paramount is that we shouldn't compromise with the safety of the patient. I think that's the more important bit. I think if we have patients who have gone through standard lines of therapy, if I'm talking about oncology, and who have failed those lines of therapy within the system, but are not willing to passively go down the palliative route, I think we should look at options for those patients. I don't see a problem with that. The only problem I see with that system is that our system today does not allow us to counsel the patients properly, or counsel the caregivers properly, or the family properly. And if we take care of that particular proponent, then I think from an ethical as well as from a moral standpoint, I think we will only get better at this.
Thank you very much, sir. Indian Society for Rational Pharmacotherapeutics and Jain Medical College AMU is very much thankful to our guest speakers as well as the chairpersons for the session. I thank you, sir, once again. Now I would request Dr. Mohsin Raza sir to kindly felicitate our guest speaker, Dr. Vineet Datta sir. Next, I request Mohsin Raza sir to stay, please. Dr. Mohammad Zehran sir, I request you to come over here. We need a huge round of applause for the speakers. I request Dr. Shahid Siddiqui sir to kindly felicitate Dr. Maqsood Punekar sir. We are very much thankful to have with us Professor Shahid Siddiqui sir and Dr. Mohsin Raza sir. I request the President of ISRPT, Dr. K.K. Sharma sir, to kindly felicitate our chairperson for the session, Professor Shahid Ali sir. I would request the General Secretary of ISRPT, Dr. H.S. Rehan sir, HOD of Lady Hardinge Medical College, to kindly felicitate Dr. Mohsin Raza sir. I am very much thankful to all the audience who sat quietly and listened to these wonderful lectures. We are going to begin with the inaugural session very soon at 11 o'clock sharp. Thank you very much.
चलिए कोई रिकॉर्ड नहीं हुआ सब रहे
Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Tariq Mansoor sir, Dean Principal and CMS, Professor S.C. Sharma sir, President of Indian Society of Rational Pharmacotherapeutics, Professor K.K. Sharma sir, General Secretary, Professor H.S. Rehan sir, esteemed members of the Indian Society of Rational Pharmacotherapeutics, respected teachers, seniors and dear friends. Assalamu alaikum and good morning. To start with the proceedings, I would request Professor Tariq Mansoor sir, Honorable Vice Chancellor, to please come on the dais, along with Professor S.C. Sharma sir, Dean, Principal and CMS. I would also request President of Indian Society of Rational Pharmacotherapeutics, Professor K.K. Sharma sir, and General Secretary, Professor H.S. Rehan sir, to come on the dais. Along with them, I would request the Organizing Chairman, Professor Nasiruddin sir, and Organizing Secretary, Professor Ziaur Rahman sir, to come on the dais. So on behalf of the organizing team of ISRPT Con 2017, I, Dr. Nafees Faizi from Community Medicine, would stand as the host for this inaugural function. We are all gathered here this morning for the inauguration of the 9th Annual Conference of Rational Pharmacotherapeutics, and the theme for this year is Rational Therapeutics, a Step for Healthy Nation. This is one of the timeliest conferences that we are witnessing, given the backdrop of Draft Pharmaceutical Policy 2017, released by Government of India, and the World Antibiotic Awareness Week, which was from 13th to 19th November. Few would disagree here that the irrational therapeutics have a direct association with the antibiotic resistance, one of the most lethal problems of public health in the 21st century. I welcome you all to this conference. Keeping with the traditions of the university, we'll start the function with recitation from the Holy Quran. I would request Dr. Muhammad Ashraf Alam, resident doctor from the Department of Pharmacology, on the stage for recitation of these verses. Ashraf.
Assalamu alaikum. A very good morning to all of you. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. صدق الله العظيم. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Ashraf. Coming back to the theme of the conference, I would like to re-emphasize on the role of rational therapeutics by reminding the known fact that India shows a 70:70 paradox, where 70% of the expenditure on healthcare is out of pocket. That makes millions of people poor every year. Out of this 70%, 70% is spent only on drugs. Especially in the era of evidence-based medicine, therefore, rational therapeutics have the potential to make that spending right. The organizing chairman of ISRPT Con 2017, Professor Muhammad Nasiruddin, is a known personality in the college. Besides his active involvement in the affairs of the college in various capacities, like Deputy Medical Superintendent, apart from chairmanship of Department of Pharmacology, he is also the chairman Causality Assessment Committee, Pharmacovigilance Program of India, Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. In addition, he is also the coordinator of the Adverse Drug Reaction Monitoring Center, Jain Medical College and Hospital. For the welcome address, I would request Professor Nasruddin sir on the dais. Sir.
Thank you, Dr. Nafiz Faizi Saab, for your nice introduction and also at the same time very brief introduction. That is good for any gathering. Now, coming to the welcome address, my Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Tariq Mansoor sir, and Dean, Principal, CMS, Professor S.C. Sharma sir, President, ISRPT, Professor K.K. Sharma sir, General Secretary, ISRPT, Professor S.H. Rehan sir, Organizing Secretary, Professor S.Z. Rahman sir of this conference, that is ISRPT Con 2017, or it is also known as 19th ISRPT Con, which is being held at Jain Medical College, MU Aligarh. And my senior teachers, colleagues, dear friends, very good morning to everybody, and Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. On this occasion of this ISRPT Con 2017, I am very much privileged to extend my heartfelt welcome to all of you at this conference and at Jain Medical College, MU Aligarh. And I would like to pay my sincere gratitude to the representatives of the ISRPT as well as members of the ISRPT who trusted in us and hand over the responsibility to hold the conference at our prestigious institutions, that is Jain Medical College. Today we are witnessing the things. Actually, the rational drug therapy is the need of ours. I remember my early days when I joined as PG at this my parent institute, and in first year of that year, that was 1997, and there was a conference at Ludhiana, CMC Ludhiana, that was hosted or organized by Professor Natu Sahib. He's no more these days, and the theme of that workshop was essential drugs and rational drug therapy. So at that moment of time, we were introduced to what is rational drug therapy, and that was the beginning of our career in pharmacology. And the days passes, and now we have reached at that junction or position that we are able to understand that what is rational drug therapy. Most of the people, maybe clinicians or maybe from our faculty, especially the newer generations, they may be aware or they may not be aware that what is rational drug therapy. We are treating the patients, but there are so many choices. So rational drug therapy means the right drug for right patients and in right dosage form at right cost. So these are the four things everybody should keep in mind when he or she is going to treat the patients. So I think that by holding such type of conferences, especially this one, there will be more awareness about rational drug therapy, and we will be able to use this rational drug therapy in our setups for teaching and training of the MBBS students who are going to be a future of this medical healthcare systems. And at the same time, being the chairman of this organizing committee, I am very much proud of my staffs, especially the residents. They are backbone of the whole things, which you will be witnessing for next 2 days, today and tomorrow, how much they have worked hard to make this conference memorable and also to make your stay comfortable. Even after that, being the chairman of the society, the organizing committee, I take the responsibility of any shortcomings during your academic program and your stay, and particularly for that I apologize. And if there will be any feedback, that is very much after any discussions, deliberations, because the improvement is continuous process. There is no full stop. If you will have any feedback from your side, there will be chance that for next coming conferences, maybe the same one or of other society, we will improve ourselves. So with these words, I thank the delegates who who have made their journey to come to Aligarh, and they are actively participating in this conference because the presence of delegates is very must. Speakers are already invited, and sometimes they maintain the relations, but the delegates are free to join up. If they are not desirous, they can leave the program. But we are very much thankful for those fellows. They have come and they are spending their time. But my request is that they should utilize their full time just to get interacted with the senior faculties, because why such type of gathering is important. We can meet so many fellows at the same stations. That is impossible for everybody to do in his or her life, because this is a golden chance, and every delegates, and also I request my speakers who are very seniors to spare some time for delegates and for us, for my residents also, so that something should appear and some change should come in our society, especially at Jain Medical College or in this ISRPT members and other things also. So with this, once again I welcome you all. Thank you very much for patience.
Thank you, sir. Listening to Chairman sir, as this conference being a step to healthy nation, I cannot stop from reminding the audience of the pertinent research by Jishnu Das and Jeff Hammer from World Bank, where they famously characterized that the irrational therapy in the Indian medical sector suffers from both type of errors, as we say in research methods. The type 1 error of over-medication, frequently found in the private sector, and type 2 errors of under-medication, to which the government sectors are frequently vulnerable. So the deliberations of this conference is therefore expected to have a significant impact on medical practice as well. Honorable Dean, Faculty of Medicine, as well as Principal and Chief Medical Superintendent, Professor S.C. Sharma sir, has been our teacher and deserves an instant admiration and regard. He is widely acknowledged for his experience and contribution to medical education, as his teaching career spans more than 3 decades. Before serving as Dean Principal and CMS, he has also served as the Chairman of the Department of Otorhinolaryngology 3 times specifically. And in him, we have several students, several postgraduates, several undergraduates, thousands of them who are in different parts of the country who have been taught under him. Without further ado, I would request Professor S.C. Sharma sir for his address to the conference. Sir.
Good morning to everybody. Honorable Vice Chancellor, AMU, Professor Tariq Mansoor, President ISRPT, Indian Society for Rational Pharmacotherapy, Professor K.K. Sharma, General Secretary, ISRPT, Professor H.S. Rihan, Organizing Secretary, Professor S. Diaur Rahman, Chairman, Department of Pharmacology, Professor Nasiruddin, distinguished delegates, ladies, gentlemen, senior faculty members, students. It gives me great pleasure to welcome you all at the 9th ISRPT Con held at Jain Medical College, AMU Aligarh. The theme of this conference is Rational Therapeutics. Rational Therapeutics, a step for healthy nation to seek and explore the ever-changing discipline of pharmacology, and to deliver on recent advances and its application to the quality of medical education and the patient care for a healthy nation. Every patient deserves the right treatment for the first time and every time. The time has come when we need to think and look for a paradigm shift, being sensitive to the demand of the society and the nation. Syllabi for students, both at undergraduate and postgraduate level in the medical pharmacology, need to be so structured in a way that the student also experience and learn the basic principles in health and disease, as it is simpler to appreciate these basic tenets in the patient and various disease forms. The journey becomes interesting when the answer so sought give a rational and comprehensive management protocol to the disease in question. Rational pharmacotherapy is the need of hour. Rational drug therapy means the right drug for the right patient in the right dose, by right route and for right curation. This particular step minimizes the cost of therapy by increasing efficiency and the decreasing drug-related adverse effects. I hope that this conference will help in increasing the awareness about rational drug prescribing among the medical fraternity. Scientific meetings sometimes appear distant from the action that would cause impact on the strategic directions of the fields they cover. Let us make a commitment here to make this one different. As a Dean, Principal, CMS of JNMC AMU Aligarh, I thank all delegates from different parts of the country for their active participation and hope that they will get a chance to interact with experts of different fields, which shall benefit them all now and forever. I am sure the visiting delegates would cherish the conference and make their stay at AMU a memorable one. Once again, I welcome you all at 9th ISRPT Con. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Among the dignitaries on the dais, we are privileged to have Professor Harmeet Singh Rehan, sir, General Secretary, ISRPT with us. Professor Rehan is head, Department of Pharmacology, Lady Hardinge Medical College, and one of the pillars of Indian Society of Rational Pharmacotherapeutics. His major research interests are organogenesis from autogenous stem cells, and he has successfully developed organs like uterus, fallopian tube, and urinary bladder in vivo models. In addition, he has also authored numerous scientific papers and is a known expert on pharmacovigilance. I would request, sir, for his address.
Thank you for the introduction and your search. I think Google does the great job. So, Honorable Professor Tariq Mansoor Sahab, Vice Chancellor, AMU University, and the Chief Guest of the occasion, Professor S.C. Sharma Sahab, Dean, Principal, and CMU, CMS, Dr. K.K. Sharma, President, ISRPT, Dr. Mohammad Nasruddin, my very dear friend, Chairman, Department of Pharmacology, AMU, Organizing Secretary, Dr. Ziaur Rahman, dynamic person, Dr. K.C. Singhal, Dr. Ravindran, Dr. C.D. Tripathi, Dr. Dhaneria, Dr. Murgare, Dr. Kaushal, and my dear friend from Nepal, Dr. Donier. Good morning to everybody. It gives me immense pleasure on this great occasion to be here. I'm pleased to extend my warm welcome to all the delegates attending this conference, ISRPT Con 2017, 9th National Conference. And the theme of the conference is very meaningful. Rational Therapeutics, a step for healthy nation. When we started this, why there was a need to start this society? Vice Chancellor sir asking me that how many societies are there in pharmacology? I said 2. Why we needed another society? This society is a very young society. We needed this because we were unable to achieve our targets. What are the targets? Targets were rational therapeutics. And rational therapeutics, society feels that cannot be achieved until and unless we make the clinician as a partner in this, stakeholder in this, not only equal, but the major stakeholder in this. And over 9 years of formation of this society, by and large, we achieved the target. It's very evident from today itself, and we saw a beautiful session on cancer chemotherapy. All the speakers were amazing. So this type of integration we need. And program of the society, even for tomorrow, we have a cardiovascular session like this where the dyslipidemia and the need-based topics have been discussed. We designed the therapy, we designed the program, what is required to the healthcare workers, healthcare professionals. We design need-based program of the society all the time. So society, earlier I used to observe one thing. When we used to send our students for pharmacovigilance or for a prescription audit to the wards, I remember in my hospital, clinicians should send our residents, bhag jaओ यहाँ से. My residents are here, they used to complain me that they don't allow us to copy the prescriptions or see the prescriptions or give the adverse reaction. Scenario has changed in such a way that they call us and give the adverse reaction, and they take our advices, they take advices on a drug information. Means there is a change, not only on the clinician side, on our side also. It's very simple. These days we feel that if I give you something, why should give you? What you will give me in return? So clinical pharmacologists can give supporting evidences to the clinician. When we make a guidelines, recently I was involved in making a dyslipidemia guidelines, which we'll discuss tomorrow. And we had a very responsible role in that. Searching the literature, searching a very good level of evidence in support of a claim. Are we doing this? We were not doing this. Now we are doing, we are part of it. Hopefully, this is the reason that we are delivering to the clinician what they need. We cannot expect that they will fill a form and they will send it to us. Pharmacovigilance was initiated from this place. Dr. Singhal is here. He is a pioneer in initiating the pharmacovigilance from here. And today, pharmacovigilance is a need of rational therapeutics. This week, yesterday, we ended with the antimicrobial week. We celebrated this week. I was in Chandigarh at our institution. We organized the things. We introduced the pharmacovigilance to improve the antimicrobial resistance. It's possible. We have to generate the innovations and see that how we can benefit the clinicians and ultimately to benefit the patient. So we are reporting, we are collecting the reports that why the patient is not responding to a particular antibiotic. Either diagnosis is wrong or antibiotic is wrong or everything is fine and the resistance is there. So it's our job to see that why patient is not responding to one antimicrobial agent. So we have a humongous job and society is tirelessly working on it. So my job is to give some of the report. Being a general secretary of this society, I have to give stock of the last 1 year. In a very brief, I'll give that last year we have a national body and we have a state body. Almost in every state body we have a ISRPT which is working on the same principle. We have it in Pondicherry, we have in Jammu, Srinagar, Chhattisgarh. Last year Chhattisgarh sector was formed, and this year I'm happy to announce that UP chapter of this society is coming up, which will be rectified in the GBM in the evening. So we are spreading a good culture among not only pharmacologists but clinicians also. So last year we had benefits. Dr. Ravindran donated another 1 lakh rupee for the society toward the X-Pharm award. So it's a prize for a best oral presentation in clinical pharmacology, and we are thankful to him. So further, this society achieved the milestones very quickly, sir. The best vehicle of any society or the sport or oxygen of any society is a journal, because that's a medium through which we translate or spread the information, scientific information. Within 3 years of forming this society, we started with online journal, Journal of Rational Pharmacotherapeutics and Research, JRPR. This year, I'm happy to announce that Honorable Chief Guest Sir will be releasing our print journal of the society, which has taken a beautiful shape, and our editorial board, Dr. Vishal and Dr. Ashok. They have worked tirelessly on it, and I'm happy that it has taken a beautiful shape and it will come out to be a good in the future. So I request all of you to contribute in future, and very shortly this will be indexed in PubMed. So elections were held, and the beauty of this society, nobody contests any election. We always say, no, you come this time or you come this time. Other society says that I'll come this time. So this is a different situation. So we received nominations for all the posts, but there was no contest. This was another good thing. So we also work on a uniformity of medical education, especially in pharmacology. Because uniformity is very important. If you go to one place, they are asking something else. In another corner, they are not asking anything and they are passing the student. This is also a scenario which we have seen. So uniformity should be there so that we produce good postgraduate students. And there were some changes in DM requirement by the MCI. We have given our representation to them that it is not done. You cannot create a department within a department. Earlier, there was one DM candidate required for opening a clinical DM pharmacology in the discipline, but now they said that they need to, means they don't want that super specialty should be started. So we have represented on that. Plus, we are working on a undergraduate new curriculum which has come. There are some ambiguities in that, and we want to represent, and I request all the members to give your valuable opinion in this regard. So with this, I know that organizing committee has put their commendable efforts for conducting this year's conference. I'm confident that conference will be a grand success, and it's a grand success the way we are getting the messages and WhatsApp messages from the people, and people are missing those who are not here. So the scientific meet will be given immense opportunity to our delegates to understand rational use of medicine, minimize prescribing errors. Our comparer was mentioning correctly that overdoses, underdosage are also part of the irrational prescribing. Assessing good quality medicines and treatment task which can deliver the effective and safe medicines. And the last I'll say that whole country is talking about a generic medicines, and we started this campaign way back in 90. Nobody used to listen to us. Now it has become compulsion and a need of the government, of every state government, to have a generic medication. So we say that country is transforming, and we have a very vital and important role. I express my best wishes to each and everyone involved in the scientific endeavor of this conference. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your expert insight on the importance of rational pharmacotherapeutics and its future. Ladies and gentlemen, today we are fortunate to have with us Professor K.K. Sharma, formerly Head Department of Pharmacology in University College of Medical Sciences, Delhi. He is also a visiting professor at Sharda University and is also associated with different medical colleges. He is the co-author of the widely read textbook, Principles of Pharmacology, besides being the author of many articles in several national and international journals. He is also the founding president of the Indian Society of Rational Pharmacotherapeutics, which is now having the 9th edition of its annual conference. It also, as you all know, has a successful journal. I would request Professor K.K. Sharma, sir, for his address to the 9th ISR PTCon. Sir.
Professor Tariq Mansoor Sahab, Honorable Vice Chancellor of this esteemed university and Chief Guest of today, Professor S.C. Sharma, the Dean, Principal and Chief Medical Superintendent of Jain Medical College and Hospital, AMU Aligarh, Professor Nasiruddin Sahab, Professor and Head of the Department of Pharmacology of this medical college, Professor Ziaur Rahman, the dynamic organizing secretary of today's program and the conference, which all of us are enjoying and attending with all scientific fervors. Dr. Harmeet Rehan, my colleague in the ISRPT, who is also equally dynamic and working for the welfare and well-being of the society right from the day of its inception. The society is very young. It's only 9 years old. It was established in 2008 with the aim that it will perpetuate and disseminate knowledge not only in the area of pharmacology but in all disciplines of medical sciences to improve the patient care in the country by way of drugs, devices and any other innovative technology which is going to come for the patient care in the future. You already know and will agree with me that science is dead if the knowledge is not disseminated and published. And this is what the society is doing today. Ultimate aim of any teacher in a medical college or any branch of medical education is dissemination of the knowledge and bring and train, teach the younger generation who are going to take over our responsibilities in the future to make this country a great nation. See, Dr. Radhakrishnan, who was teaching in Oxford University, and he was taking his class. Then some student, they asked him that what is the difference between a school teacher and station master? He said, station master minds the trains. School teacher trains the minds. That is what our responsibility is as a teacher in a medical college or university or any branch of the science, is to train the young minds. As such, it is said that the assistant professor is one who reads and teaches. Associate professor is one who never reads but teaches. Professor is one who never reads, never teaches. Vice chancellors, directors, principals, deans are those who never read, never teach, nor allow others to teach. Because they are the administrative people and they take so much responsibilities of the universities or institutions, so ultimately they have to distribute the work to their colleagues, ultimately to bring the best of the administration. But best of the administration will come by experience. You all know that as a teacher in the medical college or as a doctor in a medical college or a hospital, a medical professional has got 4 functions. 1, teaching, research, patient care and administration. You see, teaching requires a lot of labor. Patient care requires a lot of labor. Research requires most of labor. But all these 3 ultimately give you experience to become the administrator. And everybody wants to aspire to become from assistant professor to associate professor to professor to principal and then ultimately vice chancellor, maybe like Dr. Ansari, who has been the vice chancellor, former vice chancellor of this university and now superannuated last year as vice president of this country. So that is the dream everybody looks for. But these dreams can come true only when we work hard for teaching, for research, for medical education or any type of the education, and ultimately to man the manpower of the country for the best interest of the nation. And this can be done only when we devote ourselves dedicatedly for the cause, for which we are at one place or any other place. You see, recently I have been in meetings in Ministry of Health with Mr. C.K. Mishra, who was the past Secretary of Ministry in the Ministry, Preeti Sudhar, who is presently the Secretary, and the Finance Advisor of Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, Mrs. Vijaya Srivastava. All of them, they are of the view that doctors are not doing sufficient for the country. And to an extent, it is true that, I'm not saying that everyone, but some of us are not doing our duties as assigned, as government expects us. We have a Prime Minister today who people say, I've never seen him, that he sleeps only for 4 to 5 hours and works for 17 to 18 hours a day. So when Prime Minister is working so much, it becomes our utmost duty to work at least, not to the same extent, but matching to that level. Because we have a competition today from US, from European countries, all countries in the West, but also Japan and recently from China. China is becoming, and they say that is going to overcome the US, and maybe India will also come to that level, provided that we work hard. And this we have to do only when we have a spirit of dedication towards our duty, and duty is for science and medical science, for which we have been taught and trained.